driver of the #2 Ford for Team Penske. Brad, a little bit of an odd race here today at Pocono. Just talk about your race today and finishing second.
Yeah, definitely an odd weekend, long weekend, and Monday and so forth. But, we were really competitive this weekend. I was really happy to be running up front. I thought there were probably 2 or 3 cars that were really, really strong and kind of stood out, and we were one of them. So great call by my crew chief, Paul Wolf, and getting the strategy right and knowing that we had a lot of speed and maximizing that for certain situations. And we hit the green flag pit cycle perfectly to take advantage and what was going to take the lead for us and hopefully give us the prime opportunity to win the race. Unfortunately, a cloud came rolling in just kind of at the right or wrong time, however you want to look at it, to box us out, and we're going to end up, finishing second today. So we needed about 3 more laps on that cloud. It is what it is, though. So we'll take a second, I guess, and move on. But this is one of those what could have been races.
All right, we'll go ahead and take questions. We'll start with Bob Pockris.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. You've raced Buescher a lot in the Xfinity Series and then up here this year. What do you see as his strengths, and, what do you think this does for him? You kind of got a win early in your kind of semi-cup career.
Well, I think irony is when we started this weekend, Friday, I came in here for media availability, and someone asked me about how do, guys that are trying to break their way in, how do they get anywhere? And I said the key is to make the most of your opportunities. And Chris is a master at that. He makes the most out of each and every opportunity, and that's going to take him a long ways in his career, and he and his team did that today. So a lot of credit for that.
All right, we'll go over here in the middle.
Joseph Walken, frontstretch.com. After you got out of the car, what were you talking to Chris about? Were you congratulating him? How was that conversation?
That was good. I just told him, if I couldn't win, it was cool to see him win, and I told him I can only imagine what's going through your head right now, and just those kind of things. And I think he was excited, but he's kind of the humble, quiet, excited kind of guy.
All right, and we are also now joined by Regan Smith, driver of the #7 APC Chevrolet for Tommy Baldwin Racing. Regan, third place finish here today at Pocono. Talk about your race.
Yeah, it was, I think obviously we played the same strategy that Buescher and those guys did to get ourselves up there. And as Brad alluded to, the cloud kind of came at just the right time for us. We were within 5 or 6 laps of having to pit, but, it's credit to my guys for seeing the opportunity to do that strategy. And, when you're a small team working hard to try and, go up against some of the bigger teams that we do, you got to take the opportunities when they present themselves. And today and this weekend in general just kind of had that feeling to it with the rain on and off all weekend long. And, we were able to make the most out of it. And it's, something I'm proud of them for doing, and happy for Tommy. Tommy's done this for a long time. And, his strategy is second to none. He's as good as anybody when it comes to calling a race and playing the strategy game. And, he's had this team for, 10, 12 years now, whatever the number is, and has grinded it out. And I think this is the team's best finish ever, so that's cool. And, something that you can really get everybody pumped up at the shop about and take this on to the next race.
All right, we'll continue on with questions. Please raise your hand if you have a question. Go right here in the middle.
Zach Sturniolo with the Pocono Record for you, Regan. So many times you see these strategy calls just don't play out the way you expect them to or want them to. For this to actually come through and work out in your favor this time, what's it mean for you to come home with third place finish?
I was actually just in the motorhome talking to Tommy, and I said, well, for every 10 times that you try something like this, it works once or twice, and it's even more rare that it works to the level that it did today. Usually you pick up a spot here or there, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of surprised more guys didn't stay out that long and stretch it just a little while like we did when I realized we were running second. And quite honestly, our only mission was just to try and lead a lap before we pitted. So, in doing that, it kind of drug it out just a little bit for us with Buescher staying out like they did. And who knows what would have happened if they would have pitted. I don't know if we would have seen the cloud coming and seen what was about to take place with the fog before we would have pitted or not. But, nonetheless, it didn't matter. We were able to make the most out of it.
Follow-up question?
Just to follow up on that, with Chris being outside that top 30, how much emphasis does that put on getting inside of that top 30 for teams that are down struggling at that bubble?
Well, I think it puts more of an emphasis on it when we're at, Daytona, Talladega, places like that earlier in the year. I don't know that anybody would have necessarily come, to Pocono and said, hey, we got to be in the top 30 because we're going to, squeeze a win out here or sneak a win out here and do something, strategy play or whatever. Let's be realistic about it. We're fighting for top 20s on a weekly basis. That's a good day for a lot of the teams and the guys that you're talking about. And the reality is that you get done at Daytona in July and you basically say, okay, we kind of have a general shape of what the chase is going to look like, barring something at Watkins Glen, maybe where we sometimes see some more surprise winners and things like that. But outside of that, you think how the chase grid's going to look. So now that team's going to have to work hard. I think I heard he's 6 points out. They got a good affiliation with Roush, so I'm sure they'll do what they have to do to make sure he's in the top 30.
Final questions. All right. Final question here in the middle.
Joseph Walken, FrontStretch.com. Regan, how important is this for you and the team after you were so uncertain of who you were drive for in the offseason?
Well, I mean, it's always important. You want to, we're building a small team and trying to make the next step and trying to, climb a ladder and that next step for us is just getting higher up on the engineering support and trying to, be more real time with the partners that we have. We work close with ECR and RCR on stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that we can't afford to get that if this can perhaps bring in a company that can take us to that next level. We got great partners on the car as it is, but if we can, do something to take to that next level, then it's only going to increase our performance. So any good run is a big deal. And as I mentioned earlier, I think we've got like 24 guys total on our team. And we were at a test at Watkins Glen last week, and I saw one team that had 24 engineers there, just to put it in perspective. So if we take 10 guys to the racetrack, we're leaving 10 at home, essentially working on the race cars and trying to get ready. And that means that your people have to do a lot more and work a lot more hours and really, grind it out. So just for the shop alone to be able to say, hey, we had a good day. And I know everybody's going to say it was fuel mileage, it was rain, it was this, it was that. You know what? We had a good day. We stayed on the lead lap, did what we had to do, and we made some huge improvements to our race car from the last time we were at Pocono. And that's the things I look at. I say, okay, we were way more competitive today than we were 2 months ago, and that's a gain.
All right, Regan and Brad, thank you for joining
Thank you,
us.
everybody.
All right, thanks,
Safe
guys.
travels
Have a
home.
great day.